Good morning, viewers. Good afternoon, and good evening, dear kindred of the night. Welcome once more to Requiem for London. Our scene is set tonight in a little apartment complex, just maybe a mile or so away from Smithfield Market, the good old stomping grounds of our favorite gangrel. But this is not a scene about that individual. No, this is a scene about the individual who is just stepping off the bus, maybe a block away from the apartment complex. You can see it in the distance, and as the night air blows through his newly cut and stylish, might I add, hair, Chester Hill reflects on why he is here as he looks down at the piece of paper with the address and the room number to a man named Conrad.
So it's this is at a motel, right? Well, it's an apartment.
No, apartment complex.
Well, Chester will get in the building. Is there a code or something he has to make, or?
Well, I thought you were going to give a little monologue, but if you want to skip right to it, no problem.
Okay. Well,
Basically, what?
yeah, true. Good point. Yeah, Chester, really not sure. Well, he wants to do this to, help John. He really wants to help John right now, but something inside him, he tells him he's going to lose his. He knows he's going to. Well, there's a good chance that he might lose his humanity going through the list that John gave him and dealing with those people. But well, he has to at least go see the man. Probably going to kill him. He's not sure yet, but at least he has to go see the man. So he enters the building.
The apartment complex is several floors. Identical doors lining hallways, an elevator that sort of cuts right through the metal to the separate floors, one on each side, the northern and southern end of the building. Chester passes by maybe a person with a basket of laundry heading down as you were walking into the building. A side note, do you have the blush of health on right now or not?
Yes.
All right. As you were passing by, you would have smelled the warm smell of laundry detergent and soap wafting from a nearby building, giving the hint that there's a laundromat nearby. This proving it as you pass this individual who doesn't give you so much as a glance, well, at least at first. When they do bother to notice you, boy, do they notice you as she smiles very pleasantly and starts to blush and then realizes what she did and sort of speeds off down the hallway even further. But
Um,
you reach the elevator, no problem. You press the key. It seems that Conrad lives on the third floor, room 27D.
okay. Well, Chester will um go to that room.
As you approach the door, you will see that each of them does have a little peephole right below a number in essentially gold paint, although it has no real intrinsic value and something that you'd probably find at like a local thrift store.
Sorry, what was that? There's a peephole, and you said what after that? After that?
Obe's just describing the cheapness of the door.
Okay.
But what do you do? What
He'll
does Chester Hill do?
he'll knock at the door.
You'll hear footsteps approach and then a voice on the other side go, "Oh, well, hello. I didn't expect you to be arriving so soon. Hold on a second, and you'll begin to hear the sounds of locks unlocking.
He'll wait.
Right, the door will open, and this man, a bit plump, maybe about like 5 feet in length, balding, in a sort of not casual, but not really fancy, like shirt and pants will just sort of be looking at you. He's got a small mustache on his lips. He would almost look like McGee if he wasn't, you know, just a tiny bit overweight and far, far out of shape. He comes about as mousy as he just sort of looks a little, I'm assuming Chester's taller than him, a little bit up at him, and just says, "Wow, they certainly were right. I would know you when I saw you. Oh, please, please, come in. I by chance put a pot of tea on." And then he will just sort of smile at you and beckon you inside.
He'll come in. I'm guessing Chester, well, unless if there's something you haven't told me, Chester has no idea what the guy's talking about.
Oh, yes, this is incredibly confusing for Chester Hill. And as he walks in, he'll see that it's a small apartment, like about two rooms that you could see, but there's a door like right before entering the living room that you sort of assume is the bathroom because you can smell like toilet cleaner on the inside. The house is very neatly kept, things in proper places. Looks like somebody, or at least Conrad, is a bit of a OCD individual. But you will notice a few things. One, that there's several stacks of papers on the table in the living room. There's a couch, a very modest looking lamp, a plasma screen TV that is not 17 inches, much smaller, but nonetheless of a decent quality. And judging from just how clean and the quality of the table and the glance you got at the kitchen and the other devices that he has, looks like he is maybe above middle class or maybe just middle class. As he'll just sort of beckon you to the couch, he will go into the kitchen and continue preparing the tea, but you'll hear him talking from the other side and saying, is they didn't exactly tell me what I should call you. I don't mean to be rude or anything. I'm just, well, I wasn't sure I'd be getting this interview at all.
He'll say you can call me Mr. Sykes.
Out of character, what was that again?
Mr. Sykes. It's his like the new little identity he got himself as because he was told to change names and stuff.
Perfect, perfect. Would you mind writing down into the chat though? Perfect. Oh, I like it. Oh, that's actually a fantastic name, man. Anywho, back in character. As you sit down on the couch, you'll notice several of the paperworks that are already there, and you'll notice that a lot of them is actually like job applications to Chimera Security. There's several references. As you're just sort of giving a cursory examination. In fact, roll me a wits plus investigation real fast, as you just sort of begin to hear the whistle blowing on the pot that's in the kitchen. It looks like the tea is just about done.
No, that's wits 2 investigation 2. I forgot to put the time up. It's coming. There we go. Come on. No successes.
Oh, that is a shame. A crying shame. But alas, you just don't really have enough time before he sort of comes back in and you sit up straight again, giving no indication that you were sort of snooping through the paperwork. As he just sort of sets a glass of tea, he also puts down some sugars and some cream, and he just sits, or he pulls up a chair that's nearby and sort of situates it on the opposite side of the table, and then just sort of looks at you at a little loss for words. You get the feeling that he's sort of admiring your appearance, but again, this is something that you're not unused to.
He'll smile.
What do you do?
He'll smile and go, so tell me more about yourself.
Well, I used to work at Smithfield Market, but I was recently let go due to a very, very dark incident that happened there. I realized my mistake, and I inadvertently tampered with a crime scene. I was naive and I was unused to the world, but my experience at Smithfield Market and with the security company showed me that I needed to be much more cautious and vigilant. That's why I wanted to petition to join this union.
Okay, very well. Um, and he'll say, can you tell me more about the incident that happened?
Well, after the security guards and the police came, um, it seemed that the the perpetrator had gotten away. We didn't find out much about it, although the police suspected that the individual was involved in a string of murders that happened elsewhere around the city. I haven't really heard that much about it, but and you'll actually notice he starts to get a little bit nervous. Please roll me a wits plus empathy.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a chance test because I'm not sure Chester has empathy.
Hmm.
Yep, it's going to be. It's -1. That's a normal dice.
All right. You also can use heroic effort, but only once per scene if you wish.
What is heroic effort?
You spend a point of willpower, and you add 3 to that roll.
Let's go. One success.
All right, so make sure to mark off that willpower, and you'll get the feeling that he wants to tell you a little bit more, but he's afraid to do so. Afraid that this will pretty much like just tank his interview.
Majesty. And I use that. And Chester will activate Majesty as he'll look at the man's bar and goes, anything else? Anything else you can think of about those unfortunate events?
And at that, you'll actually just sort of see him, and he can't take his eyes off you for a minute, as though you're just sort of emitting this glow that just brightens up the room. And he does noticeably calm down and says, "Well, I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but while I was at Smithfield Market, I noticed a lot of strange things. That's one of the reasons why I'm applying to the union. I I I think not everything is right with the place.
What did you see?
Well, it's not what I see, it's what I heard. So there were noises in the market. Like most of the time it was, just the machinery, lots of heavy duty machinery back there to process and preserve the meats, a lot of freezers to keep cool, but other times there were, well, stranger noises.
What
Like,
kind of strange noises, Conrad?
well, almost like howls of some type of creature. Oh, listen to me. I'm sounding like some sort of conspiracy theorist. Oh, please don't let that reflect badly upon this interview. Not that that's saying that you would have bad judgment, sir. As he starts to get a little nervous and tongue-tied.
Because no, I won't carry judgment upon you. Not when it's the first time I've met you. And he'll smile and goes, so you say you heard strange animal-like noises?
I really wouldn't even call it that. Like I've been watching a lot of the Discovery Channel lately, nature documentaries, and I I I've never heard anything that sounded like that. It didn't sound like it was some sort of animal. It sounded. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Sykes. I just really can't describe it. I mean, you would know it if you heard it.
Goes, nothing you can describe it with. Are you sure? I mean, maybe if you think for it for a little bit. I mean, what's the closest thing it sounded like?
Um, well, I'd well, a few of the lads down at the pub are into literature and cinema of a fantasy variety. So, if you're familiar with that type of thing, I describe it as the roar a dragon makes.
A dragon. Guess well. Guess well. That sounds very strange indeed.
I know you probably think that I'm probably just imagining it. It's understandable. Just please give me a chance to uh, work for a security company again. I I've started taking night classes again. I want to be better. I want to help the community more.
and guess of course, of course. Maybe you can take me to the place you heard the noise from.
Um, well, I don't actually have the same passes I had while I worked at Smithfield Market. I I don't really think I'd be able to get you back there.
Guess well. Maybe at least go around there, see if we can spot the noise again. Maybe
Hey,
then
and
I
since you have Majesty on, like it seems like a reasonable suggestion. So he just sort of nods his head and goes, "Okay, that's reasonable. If nothing else, I would definitely put this to rest. Oh, you guys sure are thorough. Here, let me go collect my things."
he'll wait.
All right. And as soon as he's collecting the stuff, could you please give me a chance dice right now? Positive will be good, negative will be bad, blank will be a reroll.
Negative, so it's bad.
All right. So he collects his things, and as you get up, you'll hear another knock from the door.
He'll go to the door.
When you do so, you'll see a individual on the other side. They've got sort of coned back hair, like a business suit, and a briefcase with them, and they'll just sort of be looking around.
And he'll smile and goes, yes, what can I help you with?
As the person just sort of looks at you, and then freezes for a minute, and then says, "Are you one Conrad?"
Um, he'll say, shit. Fuck, that's the guy he was actually supposed to meet with. Justice says, no, I'm just a friend with him at the moment. Conrad just went out.
It's like, well, that's unfortunate. Well, when he comes back, could you please give him my card? I'm willing to reschedule the interview.
Yes, of
His
course.
business is very important to us.
Of course, of course.
And with that, he'll just sort of give you a polite nod and then turn and walk away.
And he'll put the card and he'll shut the door.
All right. It's about that time that Conrad will come around now, dressed again for the night. He's got a long overcoat on. And he says, "Oh, who is that?"
Guess someone that was living apparently in the apartment was looking for milk or something. I told them to look somewhere else. As we were on our way out. We don't want to delay what we don't want to delay what we have to do.
Sure, that wasn't Mrs. Grant. She is a kind old lady, as he then just sort of walks next to you. Again, since your awe is still on, he doesn't really think twice about how strange it was that interviewer just opened the door and answered it for him. He'll then just sort of say, "Shall we be off?"
Guess yes, we shall.
You just sort of walk out the door, down the elevator, and off into the night, heading towards Smithfield Market. It's only a few blocks away from where you are. It shouldn't take that long. But we are going to pause right there because we're going to need to finish what happens next in another scene. For unbeknownst to our dear Sebastian Sykes, down in a car A man with a briefcase, combed back hair, begins very, very hastily opening up his laptop and pulling up files. He pulls up a file of one suspect, a Chester Hill, and he sees the face, and he remembers the face that greeted him. The hair is different, the clothes are different, but that beautiful, beautiful face is still the same. With that, he will pull out his phone and say, "We've got code red. Code red. I repeat, code red." With that, he will look up and see the two individuals heading off into the night, with the words "shit" upon his lips, but not coming out. To be continued, viewers. To be continued.